So, as I said last time, the topic this week is duality and change. And so today, specific topic is perfection and imperfection. These two. So first of all, hi, it's good to see you. And, well, quite an interesting reflection to contemplate a little bit perfection, the idea, what is perfect. Is, I, for example, find myself to look for perfection all the time in my work, in talking, in reading, in walking, and simple things, and try to find some sense of kind of some perfection in that. Doing the perfect meditation session, for example. Like putting the timer on 1 hour and then sitting perfectly still for 1 hour. Even if there's a lot of pain, just fighting through it. And I've noticed that this urge to find some sort of perfection, or at least the way I think about it, the way I picture perfection, it stems from fear. Fear of the opposite of perfection, right? Fear of imperfection. But not really fear of imperfection, but more so imperfection in relation to me. And maybe not really imperfection in relation to me, but the implications of that when I relate to other people. What if I mess up, in simple words? What if I deliver work that is substandard? It's not good enough. What if I don't look good enough? What if I don't talk clever enough? What if you would discover my hidden mistakes? What if you would see my dark side, my shadow? What if you would see the messy side of me? What if my thoughts would be visible to everyone all the time? Would I be comfortable with that? Not at all. And you know why? Because I want perfection. Because I fear the reality of this world. And so I create this image of perfection, which is just an idea, a concept. What does it mean if something is perfect? Like for somebody that does a shot for a magazine with the top model in front of it, what does the perfect shot mean? What's the perfect edit of that shot? When will that graphic designer stop and say, that's it, perfect? And where does the idea come from that this is perfect? That's how it's supposed to look like. No wrinkles, no pimples, the neck a little bit longer, the eyes a bit wider and bigger. That's perfect. There's a tremendous amount of editing that goes into the pictures that you see in high-gloss magazines. There's hours and hours of work. And then you see that and you compare yourself with it. You compare your own body with that. That doesn't happen consciously. It's not like, okay, I'm going to look at this magazine now and compare my body with this body and then feel bad about my body. this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes. And then I'm carry on with my life. I have some noodle soup after that. We don't do these things consciously, but we do them subconsciously. These are mechanisms that they run in the background of our personality, of our mind. They're very pervasive, big clusters of belief systems and mental formations that create a feeling of self-worth and value, and also, amongst other things, the idea of perfection and imperfection. So might perfection, or what you think of perfection, maybe be something that you have learned, that somebody has told you about at some point in your life, and then you came to believe, yes, that is what is perfect. That's what perfect means. Maybe somebody has demonstrated you a certain skill. So look, you've got to do it like that. This is perfect. And there are people who have an incredible amount of refinement sometimes in their skills. These are rare people. But there are people who are incredibly refined. Their meditative skills are way beyond anything I could ever dream of. With years and years, decades of experiences in caves and profound deep meditation and all that kind of stuff. What is true, though, is I don't know their mind, right? But I might know their story. 20 years in a cave, and so what does my mind do now? They must be perfect. They must have reached perfection. And then I form a picture in my own mind of how that might look like. For example, I would picture them as being never unhappy, always happy, never depressed, never annoyed. But is that so? Maybe I might ask them actually and say, well, are you never annoyed? And they might say, no, I am not. And it might be the truth, or it might not. I don't know that. And yet still I form pictures and images and ideas, and based on these ideas I start to strive. All based on the fear of not being enough. And what is the fear of not being enough or not having enough based on? Why am I so scared of not enough? These are things to investigate, and probably it's a good idea to investigate these things in terms of, is it easeful or is it stressful? If you think in terms of trying to get something the perfect way, is that easeful or is it stressful?
Stressful, for sure.
It is stressful, yes. If it comes from, let's say, fear, and that's what's important. If it comes from kindness, it's kind of natural. It's easeful. If it comes from fear, on the other hand, it is stressful. It's simply, how do you say? It's multiplying fear. It's fear nourishing itself, making itself bigger. It uses every moment that it has. If it gets some footing in your mind, fear, then it will make itself grow if you don't do anything about it. And in our society, we have easy ways around that. We can distract ourselves. You can have a conversation. You can look into your phone, and you don't really have to see it for all the times. You're just able to kind of look away easily. But it doesn't mean that it's not there. It doesn't mean that there is not something in there inside of us that is deeply uncomfortable with itself. Therefore, it needs a lot of distractions. And it's so uncomfortable with itself due to this confused search for something perfect. I must find something perfect. Where can I find it? Where is it? Where's that perfect thing? And then we might develop belief systems, for example, like everything already is perfect. Or imperfection is perfection, or something like that. They're just quite empty statements, really. What feeling do you connect to these? And what is that feeling based on? What does that statement really point to? Everything is perfect. And we find ourselves again and again limited by just thinking about things in terms of perfection, imperfection, this and that. Is it good? Is it bad? Should I not? Trying to figure something out, trying to get somewhere, and all that is counterproductive in meditation practice. It doesn't get you any further. So actually the whole talk today, is it perfect, is it imperfect? I can only say I don't know. It's just words. Perfection, imperfection. It's not so important. It's just words. What's more important maybe is asking, is it easeful right now? Does it lead to peace right now? And does it do that a little bit right now? Good, you're on the right track. Keep going there. I feel my legs as I breathe in. Is it peaceful? No? Why not? Maybe a concept is in the way. I should breathe perfectly. Or my breath is not deep enough, or something like that. Then that might be the cause of it not being really relaxing for you. These are important questions in meditation practice, and generally also during life. Anything you do when you're sitting in your car, lost in thought, ask yourself from time to time, is what I'm doing right now, is that beneficial? Is it healthy? Is it kind? Is the way I think about myself and my mind and my practice and other people, is that kind? And you will immediately know if it is kind, because if it's kind, it immediately feels good. It gives you a sense of, it's nice. So this kind of introspection, I think it's more important than asking the question whether it's perfect or imperfect, or kind of philosophical debate or something like that. Is it perfect? Is the world perfect? Or is it imperfect? Well, maybe it's both, maybe it's none, maybe it's just words. So right now, as you breathe in, is it comfortable? As you breathe out, is that comfortable? The way you hold your body right now, is that at ease? What about your shoulders? What about your forehead? Your eyes? And immediately you notice that there's so much unnecessary tension there. How about your belly? Is it tense or is it relaxed? And if you listen to your body that way, you can notice your body speaks to you. It's like your teacher. It tells you things, right? It tells you, I hurt. There is some tension there. So can you relax right there as you breathe out? Or allow your body to relax right as you breathe out. Give it some space so it can do what it wants to do. And as you do that, it goes, immediately drops. Because you're not trapped in your head anymore, you're now connected to the body. So you can be kind to it. You can help it. You can benefit it. You can take care of yourself. You can take care of your body. In the second stage, then what's the kind of contemplation, if you will? We're in present moment awareness in the second stage. So the goal here is to come into the present moment, and we do that by listening to the sounds that are there right now, or feeling the body. Now, which one is easeful? Which one does feel good? It's a very powerful training. Right now, where in your body do you feel best? Where's the best feeling in your body right now? The most comfortable, most easeful, nice feeling you can find in your body, where is it located? Then go there with your attention. Is that nice? It's also funny, very often when I say, now bring your attention there, many people, they immediately adjust their posture. Like, become straight, they close their eyes, they immediately relax. This is not a technique. Really, it's not really a technique, is it? It's like kind of, are you a technique? Is this moment right now a technique? Is it? Then what technique? Why? Is life a technique? And what's the point of that technique then? What's your life technique? Is your heartbeat, is it a technique? It's the heart kind of contemplating, today I'm going to beat in that kind of rhythm and perfect my technique. Is that technique? No, it's not really technique. It's just nature, truth, here and now. It is something that is inviting you to come and see, right? Come look, you're alive now. Is that boring? For many people it does feel that way. I have to sit with myself now for 30 minutes, boring. Just breathing in, breathing out, boring. Nothing going on. It's a beautiful story in Zen, actually. You have this master sitting at the riverside washing dishes with his student. And they quietly sit next to each other washing dishes. And after a while, the student begins talking a little bit, and he says, Master, I feel really bored with breathing meditation. It's always the same kind of thing, you know. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. Can't we do something else? It's just really boring. And the master just continues cleaning the dishes, and all of a sudden grabs the student by the neck and dunks the head underwater. He just puts him into the river. And the student starts to fight and struggle. And the master just keeps pushing him down. Stone cold. Until the student almost stops to move. Then he pulls him back up. And the student comes up. Why did you do this? And the master says, well, do you still think the breath is boring? Sometimes I wonder, why is it that we are not absolutely mind blown by the fact that we are sitting here in this weird flesh construction with hair on top of a ball that sits right there on what we call shoulders, blinking our eyes, having like two like satellite dishes on the side of the head, like ears, you know, like listening to sounds. Isn't that a weird thing, sound? Doesn't strike you as odd? You're in the room. We are sitting in a room that's filled with flesh right now. And it all moves. It all pulsates, you know. It's totally weird. The human condition is such a weird thing, but how can we not be stunned by the fact that we have two arms coming out of the side that can grab and move, and legs that carry that thing to places, and then you put food into a hole there and you chew it. Isn't that totally strange? And you put food in there, and so you can run a bit more. It's like charging your battery, right? You put food in. It's how this world is such a weird place. If we would just wake up to the fact that we are all in this realm together, and then we all pretend it's totally normal. Good morning. Yeah, hi. It's totally normal, everything, isn't it? This is not strange at all, right? In this vast universe, and we do all our things, and we're busy, and we think about life and our problems, and it's just, we go to war with one another and fight about things, and there's this humanity, also this helping, this kindness that's there. Things that touch you, that make you feel emotional. How weird is an emotion? Someone makes a sound, says something like "I love you," and then you feel something as a response, and then water comes out of the two holes in your face. It's really strange. And the more mindful you become usually of your body, the less you think, the more you connect, the more you feel it. Like, it's so weird. I'm walking around here and I'm just walking, walking. Sometimes I had this when I was a child, a little boy. I would just repeat words over and over again in my head. Someone would say, "This is butter. Can you reach the butter? Can you give me the butter, please?" And then I would go in my head, butter, 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 butter. Until it felt so strange, this one word, butter. Give me some butter. Who made that up? Let's call it butter. And there's so many things that we make up in our heads, in our stories. Fiction, and then we believe in this. And we get really angry if someone asks us, is it true? Of course it is. And it's really just something we've heard from others. And we all do it. With straight faces. Very professionally so. You reflect like this, you come into this present moment awareness more and more, you become quiet, you notice all these things. And you don't notice them so much because you think about it, but you directly connect with life. And so many teachers, so many masters have spoken about this over and over again. When you become mindful, life feels like a miracle. It's a miracle. Being here now is not at all like something for granted. So that's what the effect was of the master pushing his student down into the water, asking that question, is it really boring to breathe? Is it really? And why is it? Because we don't really pay attention. If you start to really pay attention, it's not boring at all. It becomes more and more amazing. Something to appreciate, something to marvel at. Then in the third stage, you let go of your inner voice, and here's where so many people have so much trouble with meditation and understanding letting go. They think letting go means getting rid of, pushing it away. When in reality means just not caring that it's there. It's just there. It's just a thing. All of you have let go of the remote control here for the past, 20, 30 minutes, past hour. You've all let go of this here without any difficulties. Now, if I told you, let go of that, what would you do? Because now it's in your face, now it's a topic in the room, and letting go is a thing to do. Let it go. And then you want to check in with your mind. Have you let it go yet? Have you? How would you know whether you've let it go or not? Well, the moment you don't care about it anymore, it's just a remote control, it's there, period. You put it down here, you let it be there. I'm not trying to get rid of my remote control, so I'm not trying to get rid of my thoughts. It's a very unkind thing to do. And it will lead to headaches and trouble and stress in your meditation practice. The more seriously you practice, the more stress there. And yes, there is such a thing as serious practice. If you really go into meditation practice, you want to be really, really kind. And kindness here, first and foremost, means acceptance. Accept that there is a remote control. So you can go on with it and relax. Like, accept that there are thoughts in your head. So you can go on and listen to the fountain. Or feel your body. And let the thoughts be thoughts. Because every ounce of resistance against your thought is feeding your thoughts. Resistance always feeds what you are resisting. Every single time. Because you resist something, it means you perceive it as a powerful entity that can harm you. So you resist it. Well, is a thought a powerful entity that can harm you? Then you're confused about who you are. Can you be harmed by thoughts? Who are you that can be harmed by thoughts? Who can be bothered and attacked by thoughts? That has to be questioned. Otherwise you always think, oh God, I have so many thoughts. Who cares? People who care, they suffer there. You worry about your thoughts. Oh God, it's so many thoughts. I have been practicing meditation since whatever amount of years and still so many thoughts. And I kid you not, this is what I'm working on right now in my own practice. To leave myself alone. And for me, the suffering has reached such enormous levels within my mind at the moment. I have no choice but to leave myself alone. I have to stop. Otherwise, it's driving me crazy. Because I've been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Trying to get somewhere, trying to get somewhere, trying to get this, trying to get this, trying to get this. And all of it so unkind, really. Yeah, I did it with a smile. Doesn't make a big difference because the attitude really underneath that smile is, I'm smiling because I want something. I'm letting go of my thoughts because I want something. Here's the problem. Because you want something, you're vulnerable. That's where you break. As soon as you want something, that's where you lose. That's where you can be tricked. That's where you can be hurt. That's where fear enters. Right there. As soon as you want something, that's where fear gets you. Maybe you've given up everything, except for that one little thing. And that's where fear will come in. And that's where the thoughts will turn around and around and around. What if you lose it? What if you lose it though? What if you never had it? What if it wouldn't matter if you lose it or not? What if you were so firmly established within yourself that loss wouldn't touch you. Because you found yourself. That's a difference. We're carried away by things, we own people, things, at least we think so. And that's where we suffer. That's where we are in pain. That's where the pain comes in. As soon as you want something, or as soon as you don't want it. Whatever you want or don't want, it's the same thing. The Buddha calls that craving. We go out there with our mind, trying. And I'm talking now only about meditation practice. In meditation practice, there has to be some point where you stop bothering yourself. And I bet all of you are doing it to some degree. Because it's very subtle. As soon as you sit down, there is an agenda there. I'm sitting down because you're not just sitting down. I'm sitting down because I want to, and then there's the fantasy of whatever. If I do that regularly, then I'll be more healthy and more attractive, and I'll be more confident, and then blah blah and whatever. And there is where you can be losing your head in. That's the problem. And sometimes we have to meditate long enough to notice that. Until so much pain has fallen away, that's the only pain that remains. The pain that I want something here, I need something. I'm sitting because you're not just here. You're not just open to what is as it is, and you accept it as it is. It's like this. It's good. Unfazed. Unperturbed. You cannot be shaken by the way it is. And you find that through kindness, I think more than anything. Through learning to accept the messy me. And to kind of make friends with it. That's a very good start. Learn to smile at yourself a little bit. Not because you want to be peaceful or anything. Just because you're happy that you're here. Not because you're meditating. So I'm meditating, that's time to smile. And then you stop meditating, you're back to the normal, serious life business. And we have all these techniques, right? Oh, you go, every morning I stand in front of the mirror and I smile into my own face in front of the mirror. It's this technique thing, isn't it? I mean, it's nice, lovely, do it, but not as a technique. Enjoy yourselves. That's not a technique. If you get that, you get good meditation practice. I promise you that. Immediately. And the thing about good meditation practice is it just happens. Funny thing is, you can't make it happen. It doesn't work. Therefore, this beautiful little play of words, sit happens. You sit, and sit happens. It's nothing that you have to make happen. It's not a thing, you understand? Like, I'm going to do this sitting thing now. I'm sitting now for 30 minutes. It's kind of funny. We have our timers and everything, and there's a place for that. It's okay, you can practice with timer and all that, but also please question it. We have to, please don't stop questioning your approach and what that is based on. So the talk today on imperfection or perfection, well, is it perfect? Is it imperfect? I don't know. Maybe I didn't answer that today, but maybe something else that's more important came out, so whatever. Yeah. And maybe to just calm your mind a little bit, everything is perfect. Just the way it is. No, sorry, everything is imperfect. Better? Yeah, really, it doesn't matter. Perfect, imperfect, it's just conceptions. Are you happy? That's important. That's a good contribution to this world. Okay? All right, guys. Any questions?